Hey, Mike, what's going on? How are you?
Good, good.
Hey, I had a quick question for you. Year five of my landscaping business, I started solar operator, grew it all the way to 39 employees, doing a little over 3 million in revenue. But I'm finding that I'm hitting that plateau of where I can't go any further than what I'm doing now. I mean, the ultimate plan is to grow it up to a little bigger, about 10 million. But I can't. I'm almost doing the reverse. You know how you're supposed to build a foundation and work your way up. I'm almost working where I'm finding the employees and I'm trying to build the back end, and it's not really syncing up well. Receivables are backing up. Debt to income is a little higher than it should. So, struggling to get a line of credit or a loan like that. I wanted to know what your recommendation would be when you are facing fast growth, and you don't really have any sort of outside money that I can get.
No, great question. First, let me say thank you for your vulnerability. The fact that you're doing 3 million and you're willing to say that, that speaks a lot to your character. Most people in your scenario are more interested in the trappings of what looks like success instead of just being honest about where they're at. So, first of all, that's a huge thing for you. What I would do if I was you is realize that if you're bootstrapped like you are, in terms of raising your own capital, you don't have outside funding or access to lines of credit or debt, slowing down your growth by 1 year, like just pausing growth for 1 year instead of next year doing 3.5 or 4, just doing 2.8
Yeah.
or 3 is the difference between you growing, 5 years of aging yourself in the next 12 months versus
Yeah.
slowing the growth down a bit, getting things under control, being extremely profitable, and then going into the following year, like going into 2025 with a very healthy profit margin on a business that does say 2.8 or 3 million in top line revenue. Even if you're 10%
Right.
profitable on that, after tax and everything, $300,000 of net profit takes a big chunk into probably whatever debt you currently do have.
Correct. Yep. So I'm strapped. Yep.
Yeah. So like if I was you,
You know.
I would say, okay, what
Yeah.
what happens if I raise my prices by 25, 30%? I know it sounds crazy, but it's probably raising your
Right.
prices by 20 to 30% for you will probably basically just put the brakes on your growth, but it would literally
Right.
double or triple your profitability. Let's say you're at 8% profitability right now, and you're basically just churning your profit in terms of cash flow in to fund these receivables as well as equipment,
Yep.
et cetera. That's what's happening. So let's say you're 8 or 10% profitable. If
Yep.
you increase prices by 20, 30%, you are literally going to triple your profitability. You'll slow down growth though, because your close ratio will come down. But ultimately, if you do that for
Right.
1 year, going into the following year, you'll be in such a healthier spot. And at that point, what I thought the conversation was going is your ability to start delegating and getting middle management is what will take you from 3 to 10
Yeah.
million.
Yeah. No. No. I hear what you're saying, and yeah, I did try to implement. Have an estimator, have a manager. One left early in the season, and then I was pretty much like a ping pong from spring until I found someone else to fill that spot, and then bring them all up to speed on what the expectations would be. But no, I agree with you, and I think that makes the most sense to pause the growth, slow it down, make it profitable, build your systems, and then move forward. Right.
There's no shame in taking 1 year to slow down growth. And ultimately, the drug of growth is something that causes a lot of people to lose money and ultimately lose their life because they'll go 5, 10 years of grow, grow, grow and realize they've built a business that now sucks 10, 15, $20,000 a month in just loan payments. And they're basically tied to the end of their their loan term. It's like, oh, in 10 years, once this is all paid off, then I'll have the perfect life. When in reality, if they just took 1 year and slowed down growth. And this morning, I talked to a franchisee. I said, you need to raise your prices by 20 to 30%. There's a solo operator that over the past 12 months has grown to, he said, 200 weekly and 100 biweekly customers in 1 year. Fast, fast growth. And he's like, I had a couple employees leave. Like, what do I do? I said, you need to stop growing by raising your price by 20 to 30%. And he just recently forced weekly services on everybody. And he said, I think like a few people left. I'm like, that's probably what's going to happen. And when that happens, again, you're going to now have the confidence to go raise your base pay, raise what you can pay your employees, and tap into a whole different market. Because when you go, trust me, when you go from $15 an hour to $20 or $22 an hour in terms of base pay, you totally change the paradigm and the type of person you're bringing into the company. And so if employee churn is an issue, you look right back at the fact that raising prices will probably help solve that issue.